Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 258, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, and all the other ones. So do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, and subscribing on our YouTube page, the CFG, or on our Twitch page, CFG Games, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on my sideboard? Mind you, before we start, I'm sorry.
No.
We are live at GameOn Expo 2025. This is our very first live event. We are not doing this, normally we do it stream-wise, but we are now just doing it at a convention in a panel room, and this is so much different. I am kind of freaking out right now, but we'll see how this is going to go. We're going to go how this is going to go. So, but Lex, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm so happy to be here. I feel like I'm the exact opposite, but because I can't see him when I look at you lovely faces, I'm scared I'm going to interrupt him. So, ow,
Sorry.
I'm irritated. I am not listening to music. I swear it's so I can hear you guys. But yeah, no, I'm doing really good. I miss Adam, but if you are coming to the remind me of the event Level Up in Vegas, you will see Indust there, probably holding a lot of Smitty's equipment in multiple hands and recording. So Dust will be there, but right now he's taking care of Opie. This is my first trip without my service dog because Opie's officially retired. So Smitty's my keeper. If you see me waiting outside a restroom, it's because I didn't come out. So don't be alarmed. I do have neon sneakers on so that you can see my feet up, you know? Just drag me out. It'll be fine. But yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm shocked that I'm doing so well on such little sleep. The first night I did have to sleep in
Been a little rough.
Next to someone locked us out of the Airbnb.
Whatever. Don't even get me started on this. Don't get me started on this with anyways.
He locked us out, so I had to sleep next to this man.
We make beautiful harmony when we're sleeping next to each other. And I'm just saying.
He was very musical, and several times in the middle of the night, like honk shoeing, I hear it.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up because
How are you going to call me out in front of live people? They can see my face.
He wanted to know. I didn't.
No one wanted to know.
I didn't recreate the sound. I did you justice with that.
Man.
I woke up because
You are a habitual, like, rolling people under the bus situation.
I'm Italian. Are you joking? Listen, I'm Italian. If I razz you, I like you.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But
if
Lex,
I don't talk to you, I don't like you. Yes, sir.
do you know I don't even know a transition to go after this at this point.
Think about it real quick.
But you know what, Lex? You know what? I'm gonna skip
Who's the rootin' tootin'est?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the rootin'est, tootin'est guy I know that has been like a freaking like soldier throughout the whole experience?
His name is?
It's the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Chilling. It is good again to be out here. We're at GameOn Expo here in beautiful Phoenix. We've got some people here in the room as well. So thank you guys again for coming and joining the episode. We're going to have some fun with it. But like I said, I am absolutely obsessed with Warriors Abyss. They just came out with a new update as well. Yeah. I can't stop playing the game. Again, mind you, I'm not like a roguelite type of person. I've tried to get it. Returnal, still haven't finished it.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't finished anything. I could list the ways.
Okay. I'm terrible. We all know this.
Yes.
However, I can't stop playing it. There's over 100 characters. There's like 9 different traversal levels. And I just recently found out it's for each character. It's not as a whole. I was like, why is this not progressing? Why can't I get to the next traversal level? And I was like, oh, maybe if I beat it with somebody there, and then that's right. So
that's cool.
I've got a lot of work. I love it. It's a fantastic game.
I knew what game he was playing by the button presses because my partner has been playing it next to me on the couch and just
Oh, that's
You and
funny.
Dust are playing the same game. He goes, yeah, I finally did it. I was like,
Smitty just did
I'm
it.
afraid. I think it's gonna give me carpal tunnel or something.
Oh, it
Like,
probably
dude, there's like
already
a
has.
couple times I've like the next day, like literally, I could hardly like hold a coffee mug without like it just like I was like I don't know what's going
I
on
did
with my
bring my
wrist.
hand massage. You can borrow my machine.
Yeah, I might have to, but it's feeling better. But yeah, the game's
job.
fantastic for $25. Like, if you're into the Dynasty Warriors series
It's worth it.
at all, you're gonna like it. It's really, really good.
Yes.
So I've been grinding that. A little bit of Marvel Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
It's been super busy at work and stuff like that. I feel bad. I know the new season's coming out April 11th. I'm super pumped. We saw who was it? Emma Frost. Yeah, as a Vanguard, which was a little
like to call it.
surprising. I like it though. I like the moveset that she's got going on and stuff like that. So again, we're huge fans of Marvel Rivals.
I do have a quick question. Am I the only one that gets confused with Emma Frost and call her Emma Stone sometimes?
I absolutely yes.
That at dinner, he was like, it's Emma Stone. I was like,
Okay, there you go.
she
That's
was
why I had to ask. I'm
Gwen
like, is it
Stacy.
Completely different
Emma Frost,
people.
Emma
You're
Snow.
making connections.
yes,
It's
there you
just
go.
the wrong one.
Yes.
You know?
Well,
But yeah. So it's been a slog. It's been a grind. We got the Frag Punk. I don't know if any of you guys have played Frag Punk at all.
No,
I feel like it's been a sleeper of a game just because the genre is a little, the hero shooter and Marvel Rivals being out. It's kind of hard to get into something
I
like
can't
that.
play anything because my computer exploded this weekend.
Yeah, and if you were on console, you wouldn't be able to play either because they delayed that at the 11th
indefinitely.
Did they really?
Indefinitely,
On the
yeah.
11th?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm too
yeah.
sure.
Again, we can have conversations
Yeah, we
about
have
that
a whole
later.
different
But
conversation.
we got that review coming out as well. So it's been busy. It's been good. We've gotten games in. Obviously, I'm sure at some point we'll talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. I've got a lot of feelings about that.
Oh God,
so-
that's just. Oh God.
More importantly, I want to know your feelings.
Yes. But
What about you, brother?
as for me, well, first off, this has like been a break away from me from Monster Hunter Wilds, and yeah. 3 days, like I'm like going ham on that. I knew that was gonna be my spirit animal game. I just knew it was gonna happen. But yeah, so I've been doing that for the past like week and a half. But coming here to GameOn Expo, they allowed me to touch grass a little bit. So I will say that. And then also, of course, Marvel Rivals. I love playing Hulk.
so good.
I just
It's
love
so
playing
good.
Hulk. I just love it. So, but it's good. I know. But I know y'all don't want to hear us gooning over Marvel Rivals as always. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion in the world of video games. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we do not want just us to talk about it. We want you, the listeners, the audience. We want the audience to be a part of the conversation this time around. We're going to make this a cool mix. This time, since you're here live at the show, we have a lot of awesome goodies to give for what the topic is. So we got shirts, we got some other cool stuff. So if you interact with us,
Like
we're going to reward you with some cool stuff. So let's get this party started. So the topic is video game hot takes. So normally we like to start it off ourselves, but it seems like we have a lot of people, enough people. Does anyone have a hot take that they would like to share with us or with us? No one. Oh man.
And it can be controversial.
Okay, it's all good.
Oh,
Oh, you
absolutely.
got one? Okay, what's your hot take?
Photorealism is overrepresented and in some cases gone too far. I think that sometimes I see a lot of games nowadays where it just seems like there are so many games now that have the same like photorealistic art style, over-the-shoulder camera.
Okay.
He stole my topic. No, I have a list. And then I have a list of what I expect him to say in response, and then who cares what Davis says? And then the next one. No, I
get
agree.
this.
I absolutely agree.
Well, first off.
Let's repeat.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
repeat. Yeah. What
Make
the
it louder.
that so essentially what you're saying is that the photorealism art style in video games has essentially just been oversaturated, used
Yes.
too much, and it's gotten kind of bland. Would you say?
Yeah, and I don't think that there's enough now. Like you don't see very much really like
Variety.
art style.
Yeah.
If you want like a more cartoonish style or just something.
Bless you.
Something that isn't like just photorealistic.
Right.
Oh, I 100% agree with you there. I mean, it is a hot take. It's kind of funny with it.
I was just saying, because if you look at, there's been comparisons of, it used to be when there was like 16 polygons or 64 polygons, and every time you doubled it, it got better and better. You could triple, you could times it by 100, and it's still just going to look the same because the amount of resolution on it is just dependent on your monitor.
Right.
So it's not only a hardware issue, but also it's not going anywhere, but the graphic requirement is it's skyrocketing.
Right.
You know, in a way, I definitely agree with that, but at the same time, it's kind of a 50-50 kind of shot because there's a difference between like just logic of just normal technology and how it normally goes, but there's also a different thing of creativity. And then I think the level of like, you know, with like, for instance, when you think of a AAA game, like you think of the beautiful games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, and all these different kinds of games that do use photorealism as a, like, you know, the photorealistic graphics and stuff. It's kind of like a cookie cutter thing, but like let's say, you know, like for instance, some of the game of the year, for instance, is Balatro. And then like, Balatro itself,
fantastic.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the people weren't relying on the graphics of that level of photorealism, of realism. It's just a badass game. It's just a fun, addicting game. And I think that level of just natural gaming, of people just loving that, loving just playing the game because it's artistically beautiful, but just the addiction of the game is kind of been lost. And then I think that's what you're kind of coming to, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Marvel
I would
Rivals.
say it's a difference between AAA and indie because AAA is like focusing.
They got the money.
Like you have stylized games, but it's mostly like indie games that you actually have to search for. You know,
Yeah.
AAA pretty much like left that corner. They're over there trying to make the next Grand Theft Auto. You know,
Right.
Like, these real people. You know, that's what they're all.
Well,
That's
even
cool.
But there are games out there. It's just indie games.
yeah, no, he's talked about it so many times when we've discussed similarly on this topic. I loved Faith, and I can tell how many people played Faith. That's what I thought.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an 8-bit horror genre, and they did a trilogy. It is fantastic. I think in total I paid $18 and change for those three games together. One of the best games I have ever played. And the pixels can get better. I can't see it. We all have a limited cone of what we can see. Why are we making things so much bigger and clunkier for our devices when I don't play a game based on how pretty she is or how much she bounces?
I mean,
I'm
not gonna lie, sometimes that happens.
Sometimes it's nice because I am going to be a
Like the jiggle
hypocrite with
physics,
my
come on.
hot take. I am going to be a hypocrite with my hot take. But do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about the jiggle physics. I want the storyline. I want to fall in love with these characters. Make me feel something. If I get chills because the music and everything comes together, and that's what Faith was for me, in this beautiful symphony, you've got me. And I can't play games right now, so I'm really sad.
I also think too, on top of what everyone was saying, one of the notorious that reuses pixels and reuses like their art style is Square Enix.
Oh, yeah,
there are
it's
multiple
copy and
different
paste.
characters,
Yes.
But it's the control paste, and I feel like that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because when you want to get to know the characters in the story, and it's like, well, is this the same character? Is it
Right.
not?
Right.
And it's just kind of
That's a really good topic. You want to come up here? We'll get you.
Yeah,
we'll
what do
get
you
a
want?
shirt.
Come
Yeah,
come
up
hither.
here.
What size are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good topic. I definitely like that topic.
No, that was a good.
Well, and I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit
Sure.
too. I think it also kind of, you got to look at the overall picture. You can come on. Yeah, come on up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come pick up some merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Starting
as a
us
whole,
off.
and what it kind of reminds me of is kind of like what happened with Hollywood
So I don't know
and
what size you are,
film.
but I've
Everything
got, like,
became
medium,
very...
large, extra large. I've got glass.
Hey, this was successful. We're gonna continue
Okay,
doing
whichever
this
one.
formula. We've talked about like the everyone's trying to get that Fortnite, like that Fortnite money, or trying to figure out that Fortnite formula, and they're just basically creating little derivatives of it. There's no inspiration or innovation that is coming, and I'm feeling, at least within the AAA side of things. On the indie side, and this is where I feel that the indie side is actually getting its time to shine now is that these folks that were about the games have now been they're basically corpos.
Yeah.
These corporations. It's people that don't understand gamers, don't understand. They understand. Hey, we need to get our our shareholders or whatever. We need to make them profit. So it's about as making and creating as much as possible, trying to cash out instead of making something that's good. That's going to resonate with people.
Yeah.
That people are in. Essentially, they have lost
the plot.
Yeah,
You can make it so pretty, but if it's boring and I can't get through the tutorial, I'm not going to touch it again. I'm going to ask for my $80. It's $80 right now. $80 back? No, thank you. I'm good.
A good one. That's a good topic. Okay, does anyone else have a hot take that they would like to share? Okay, I will go with you over there.
All right, so my biggest hot take in the video game industry is you aren't paying for early access. You're just paying an additional fee to play the game on its actual release. That's my biggest thing is nowadays people are like, oh, you can buy pre-order and get early access when actually that was their initial release date.
Here's mine. Okay, y'all just set this up on me.
I did it.
First off, and I'll say this to everyone in the most upright and the most respectful way possible. Fuck early access. All right? Fuck it.
You're paying to play their
It
game
is a
and
terrible
get through the glitches.
it is one of the most terrible situations I've always thought, because it makes developers busy. It makes developers lazy. It makes developers lazy.
Yeah.
It makes developers dependent on assuming that the regular consumer is willing to just say, it doesn't matter. We know we're gonna get our $60 or $70 for that game automatically, and who cares if it's a piece of shit when it comes out?
Right.
We're just gonna have to wait for we'll allow them to have that piece to be because of the people's anticipation and the hype to be like right there on you, and then just use that as just a guy on just saying, it's gonna come, but we're gonna release the real game in 6 months or whatever and stuff. Like Steam Early Access is one of the most annoying things that I've ever seen with it. I understand that there's a certain level that it has to be because because you're an individual. You're a specific. I mean, if you're an indie developer, I can understand why you would want to do that. But however, if you're a AAA studio, then you're like for instance, Hades 2. Can't wait till Hades 2 comes out, but you're not going to get me to buy Hades 2 before that full game comes out because it's going to be ridiculous.
And that's where one of the other ones besides Hades 2 that I'm thinking of too is the new Life is Strange game. When you pre-order the deluxe edition, you got the game 3 weeks early than everybody.
Yeah, you get the first 2 parts of Life is Strange there, but then not the end part. You had to wait till like a certain period of time. It's like, what? I just paid $60 for this. It's like, what is this nonsense?
That's like when Netflix gives me most of a series or half of whatchamacallit, and then I gotta wait 2 weeks. If I had known that, I would have waited like 3 nights before it came out. Damn it.
It's just, you're looking at the you're right. It's not like anyone in this room.
Like a mid-season break or something.
Walked in, I was like getting teary-eyed.
It's not like just like Invincible just comes in and just say, hey, we're gonna do part 1 of it season 2, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're gonna wait 8 months and here's part 2 of season 2.
Well,
it's
he
like, what?
spoiled stuff for me, and he walked in and I started
I haven't
getting
even seen the second season.
No, the story, like from the comics.
Oh, from the comics. Okay, gotcha. No,
Which they're following.
I'm sorry. That heats me up so much because I really hate the fact that people are like, I got this game on early access. I mean, you do what you got to do. I understand it, but no, it is. You're right. That is a definite hot take. You're gonna be like, no, we're just gonna buy the game anyways. That's great. Buy the game anyways. However, back in the day when you bought $60 of a game, you're expecting a full game. You're not expecting the game to be like, I got the game. Now I got to wait 8 months for the game to be complete, and then so I could just say I finished the game that was set. I'm sorry. You have a question?
How do you feel about closed betas and alphas?
I don't. Okay, now betas and alphas are a little different.
It depends.
Okay, so now alphas is what it is. Alphas is just a base of the game, and it's like just wanting to test it out. So we know it's an alpha. Now, if they tell you the best prime example of it is Multiverses. When Multiverses very first came out,
That was crazy.
It was they treated it as if the game you could buy stuff in that game. But the game wasn't out. It was a beta, but you could still pay $40 for it, and then still keep the stuff that you paid for, but then they'll say they removed the game completely. You waited a year and a half, and then it came back. It finally came back. Yeah, and then it's like it's nonsense. Now, depending on how the developer treats the beta, then it's really kind of a hit and miss. But if someone's telling you to play the beta, you have to pay $60 or the full game. No, I'm not about that mess. It doesn't make any sense.
The one that reminds me of like a quote unquote okay, and it's the only game that I'm okay because it was in early access for years. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
That was one that was in early access, and it was one of those where you got it and you never had to pay for it again because when it came out.
Yeah. I do early accesses all the time. I love them. And I'll tell you why I love them. I love them because I feel like, at least for me, that I am a part of the development of the game. Even, you know what I mean? And it depends on I guess who the devs are, the community manager and stuff like that, and how much like input you actually. But there's been some where like we as the players literally helped to shape the game, and for me that was really cool, and it felt like I was, you know, even though I have.
It's so rare for that to see that though. It's
It is
so rare.
But
He
It's
would
like,
make fun of me because of that horror game that I play. That he's like, no. You've played it once or twice, and gosh, I can't think what it's
Labyrinthine?
called.
No.
Labyrinth.
yeah,
Oh my God, it's so good.
I said
play
indie
it.
games. Indie games. That's clearly an indie game. I'm kind of cool with that. But
I'm
like
good with that. AAA, I feel like
big
it's been
AAA, I don't
used
think so.
abused, and I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Good one. Does
Yeah.
anyone else have a hot take?
Green shirt does.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't steal you guys' thunder because
No.
I know you mentioned it in the open, and no offense, Mario. But I think the Switch 2 will only be successful because of the nostalgia factor with people have with Mario, Zelda, all that different
See,
stuff.
I'm a Wario
That's what I'm
girly.
saying. And not necessarily because it's a good console, because when I look at the specs, the battery life, all that stuff, and then the price on top of that, not even getting into that,
Yeah.
I'm like, the only reason people are gonna buy this is for their kids who are like I'm a gamer and I bought this type of system for my kids, or the thing that I just have a soft spot because that's what I grew up with.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
That's-
It's not because of the
Okay.
system, it's the console. So
No, I totally agree. And actually, want to repeat. So basically, I just wanted to say because so we can get it to keep up. Is like you're saying basically, you're thinking the Switch 2 is only going to be successful because it's just going to be a nostalgia factor that's going to keep it, that's going to make it successful. Is pretty much right. And you know what? In a way, I agree with you. But at the same time, in the way, the fact it's Nintendo. I mean, that's just the problem. It's like
care.
the fact is that it's Nintendo. Like it's always been. It's weird. Like for instance. On paper, it's weird to say that Switch 2 is as successful as it is. If you look at it as a core spec console, it shouldn't work. It wouldn't work if it was an Xbox or if it was a PlayStation or if it was anything else.
Maybe
But like,
it's Nintendo.
it's Nintendo. I mean, like most of these games that come out on the Switch, for instance. Every game that has come out on the Switch, their average units that sell on that system is over 10 million. Which is insane to say because like people are lucky to hit over 2 to 3 on the regular
Facts.
AAA title game, and people are successful about that. I mean, some of the ones are like the outliers, like Monster Hunter Wilds just hit over 10 million. But like you're right, you're totally right. Now the thing that's maybe a little bit half and half is like how they're pricing it is a little aggressive, I would say per se, on what's going on, and I pray people will go by their money on like saying, I don't know if I'm going to pay $90 for Mario Kart or see these kind of nonsense and stuff like
He
that.
will if you don't tell him that there's a thing that keeps him on the track.
Yeah,
He learned that the hard way.
that's true.
I feel the same way. Like I said it. I was like, I will buy it day one if there's a new Mario Kart. Of course, the first thing we see is a new
So
Mario
that's why
Kart.
Adam
I was like, oh, sold, take my money. You've got it. Here's my social security number. You can have it.
Okay.
But
Here's my child. The
and
first
I'm
one.
I think I'm part of the problem. But I think we're going to see
You are
a
definitely
little
part of the problem.
I think we are going to see a little bit of resistance though because of the pricing of that. They are pricing themselves out of being a family-friendly console at this point. And this kind of goes into what my hot take was. I think Xbox has positioned themselves to be a leader in gaming in like 10 years at max. Obviously, we're seeing people going more digital. They have the infrastructure. They have the cloud gaming. They are literally everywhere. They have told you guys the game plan. They did this years ago, telling us, you know what I mean, we want to be everywhere. we don't care about console exclusivity and this and that. The developers don't care about that stuff. They're starting to care less and less about that as well.
Which is great for me because I'm limited on what I can do with my hands.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't work.
And then,
It also helps too with the Xbox of the fact that even Final Fantasy 14 that used to be exclusive just got on Xbox.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So they have positioned
They just
themselves,
need the
I
money.
think, to do that. And Nintendo,
Great.
I think, in the way that they're pricing so aggressively, I think that's only going to bolster Xbox to say, hey, man, you can play games for cheap everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. What do you have, Invincible?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a middleman on
Yeah. No, that's good.
Also, how dare you make me tear up when you walked in?
But daddy issues,
Same, he died. Anyway.
No, but in my opinion, so yes and no in regards to, I think the console's going to sell fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
As much as I don't want to believe that because I think the price is absurd, the specs are there.
Right.
Everything that they've updated is exactly what people wanted. And the fact that they are appealing to the Nintendo people's needs, I think they can get overpriced. What I don't think is going to sell well are the games themselves. People still have a price point. And the fact that you're trying to upsell a Mario Kart game that is going to go near, if not right at the same price as, let's say, a GTA 6.
Right.
Yeah, no.
People aren't going to really budge on that. They're going to decide, I'm going to save my money. I'd rather spend it on, like, let's say, skins on a free battle pass.
Yeah.
Or save it on, like I said, the new GTA. So I think that's where they're going to see a lot of pushback. I don't think the console's not going to sell.
Yeah, no, I
Everyone
agree.
knows the Switch, it's literally gone down.
Oh, no.
Like I said, they already got my
It's
money.
definitely-
I'm upset, but they're still going to get my money.
It's definitely going to sell. I mean, it's definitely going to sell. But and I think in this point, there's no way. Unless it was like the Wii U, like how bad that was marketing, then that would be the most clusterfuck of it. Which we know it's not going to be the case. I mean, especially it's just announced backwards compatibility to original Switch games. They're showing enhancements of old Switch games and stuff like that. It's just that the fact of the matter is that the only reason why it's selling is because of the nostalgia of like the first part. Like Nintendo, what Nintendo has done successfully, consistently for the past for its existence is its first party games, and then those games itself are like jewels. So they could do whatever the hell, whatever they're wanting. I mean, look at Pokemon. Pokemon is one of the worst optimized games I have ever seen on the newer systems on the Switch.
Have you seen Pokemon Pinball for my Game Boy Color?
Oh God, yeah.
I still play that sucker. It's a great bathroom game.
One of the worst games. It's funny because actually when we did a game of the year one year that I said that I loved playing Pokemon, and I said, "What's one of the worst games?" And then I said it was Pokemon, because Pokemon is just it was because like the frames, the weird glitches, all this
hilarious.
nonsense. But still, people are going to bypass it.
Scarlet and what? What was that new one? The newest one?
Scarlet and Violet.
I was astounded at how many people bought that game. When
Even though it
saw on
because it's
release.
Nintendo.
Yes.
Like, literally
My friend was just floating.
Comes back to the core of Nintendo being Nintendo.
It's still over 8 million copies sold. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
We'll get some more questions in real quick. Can I get you a blue shirt?
So, couple things, and I get the Nintendo frustrations are very there. I think that the hardware's priced more or less where it should be.
Well, technically, officially, right now they just temporarily removed the pre-order, but it's going to go. It could go up higher, so keep that in mind. But continue.
So we've got the Street Fighter.
Yes.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Gear on the outside, and then we've got
The reason it's going to
the Champion
sell
Edition.
is because a lot of, especially the AAA studios,
You said it.
super impressive fidelity and performance. Half of the shit isn't fun.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
of
Nintendo
course.
does better than any
Facts.
other competition. The shit's fun.
Yes, that's true. It is fun. I mean, and it's good, but then again, I don't know if it's $90 good per game per se. I don't know.
Nowadays are a lot smarter with their wallets than they used to be.
They have to be, though, yeah.
I'd say 2010 to 2020. No, people were just throwing money away. They didn't
Right.
know what to do with it. But
Okay.
nowadays, people really are trying to be more cost effective.
Yeah.
Especially on games.
Right.
We got one more question in for this one.
Yeah, just what I'm saying was yes,
And then we're
it's
going
luring
for her makeup.
Yes.
buyers in with nostalgia, but what console hasn't done that? When the PlayStation 4 came out, they opened up with God of War. When PlayStation 5 came out, they opened up with Insomniac Spider-Man 2.
I love
Every
what he
console
said
that I can
over
think
God
of
of
has
War.
opened with, hey, you remember this? We got a new one. Buy
Right.
a console.
Yeah, but see,
Well, I was kind of surprised that there wasn't a new 3D Mario, to be honest.
no, I'm surprised it's really rare to see the fact that they still haven't had the 3D Mario. But Mario isn't really the focal point anymore as much, really, as the main figurehead. He's now pretty much a legendary symbol of Nintendo itself.
Mm-hmm.
But as for a game, like running for the #1 lead in the game, I mean, I guess technically it is with Mario Kart, but not like a platform.
Not like a
But- yeah.
And dude, that literally is getting me to buy a Switch.
But like, see, your point on like first party, like PlayStation and Xbox saying, oh, because they're going by the nostalgia for this. Well, I mean, besides Xbox, because we already know how bad Xbox is bad. But it's the fact that Nintendo. It doesn't matter what Nintendo does. Like the weird stuff that they've done, like Peach's Party, that weird one that was specifically Princess Peach's game. Even though that game was technically bomb, it still sold 4 million units.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no other console, no other company can hit that same level of success for even their failures.
Right.
A failure was 400 million units sold. And that's just saying a lot in itself.
Yeah.
Okay, but we got to move on.
I know
May
that.
have had comments.
And then we'll let Wario go after that. Okay.
I was just saying, I actually disagree with the price. I mean, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the price hike is coming. I feel like Nintendo definitely set it in motion. However, everybody's forgetting Grand Theft Auto 6 is about to come out. So if
Right.
you decide
Yeah.
to sell it for $90,
I don't like that,
that's
though.
just funny.
Yeah.
$90. That's funny. It's gonna be over 100.
Wait, for which one?
Grand Theft Auto 6.
True.
And everybody got it.
That's
That is true.
no,
That is true.
I think they could set whatever price they want
Grand
to,
Theft Auto.
and people are going to
Sorry,
pay it
Grand
for
Theft Auto.
GTA 6. I mean, people have been waiting years for this next iteration in it, so like they really can, and that's what kind of makes me worried. It's like if Nintendo are setting these prices here, there's not going to be any stopping anybody else
They
That's-
moved the goalpost.
from
gonna be a
upping their
nightmare.
prices. It's going to be an
It's
effect
gonna be a
that just goes across the board.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so what? Anyone else has a different hot take? Like
I know
anyone?
Wario.
Wario, sorry,
was where-
Wario. I just said it earlier too. I was like, I even ignored myself saying that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Wario.
My hot take is that the Dark Souls series is trash, and the only reason why it's popular is not because it's good or that it's fun, it's because people want to be seen playing it, be seen that they beat it, and it's more about it's completion. It's almost like the concept of conspicuous consumption.
I'm with
People
Cody.
only buy Apple phones because they want to make fun of the Android community. So it's like, oh, you can't beat this, but I can.
I'm superior to you because I
Don't-
think
Yeah!
Don't clap for
My
him.
man, I will clap for that. You're trash.
No,
I
I'm
hate
better
'em.
than you
And I
guys.
only hate them because I
No,
suck at them and they're frustrating. And I.
It's funny. Now,
Everyone played Dark Souls. When it started.
I'm good.
The streaming community.
Yeah, I know.
yes, okay, Wario. I know Wario is a natural hater of everything here. All right. So first off, I do respect what you're saying, and I hear you. I will say that.
You are.
Now, the second thing is like now there was a little bit of I do see the little bit of truth. I'm saying it is definitely overrated. I will definitely give you that. I think it is an overrated game. But it is a fun game. I mean, it is still a game that I like. That I'm saying I like. It's still a game that's tough, and it's still a different kind of like it introduced a new genre and a new style. I will say that it's now that multiple different games have started to kind of branch off and doing their other things like Lies of P and the new one that just came out and stuff. Yeah, thank you. The new one, First Berserker, is even though it's not as good and stuff. But it's like it
Black Myth Wukong.
yeah, exactly. Like, well, Black Myth Wukong is more action-based. It does have the same kind of feel of it, but it's not the same kind of level. But I will say this, though. The level of people, like, to say that if people are chasing the clout, abso-fucking-lutely. There's no doubt about it in my mind that they do. No, so I do see, it is a hot take. So, no, you definitely came in, brought in the heat on that. But you also kind of stabbed me in the heart a little bit, Wario, and I don't know if I can forgive you for that. Come up here. We'll get you your thing. I'm sorry. What we got?
No, I was gonna add
Commentary.
actually. Video game skill nowadays is nowhere near like how it used to be back in the day.
Oh,
People who call themselves skillful in games have no idea how hard it was to be skillful back in like
Yeah,
2000s,
exactly.
90s. Because
I
you
hate
wanna know
platformers.
what made game
So
skill
I
back
have
in the
up
day.
to
The
a
fact that you had
2XL,
to
and I
fight
have
the
it
game
on every
itself.
one. I also have these glasses, and
That was the final boss.
it's okay. I have up to a 2XL in every knowledge. So whichever you would like.
Yes.
Back then,
And then I have the glasses
you.
too. And I have a specialty
They're just
cleaning
like,
cloth.
sometimes people let you not have a hitbox on.
Right.
That weapon that you
It
clearly
isn't red,
got
but it
away
is
from.
black.
No,
Is that
I-
okay?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Disney's The Lion King game.
What's up, man?
A prime example. Like the devs are like literally like,
I can suck
we
it
made that
back.
as
I'll
hard
get
as
that back.
possible.
And
Like
I
it's just
suck
like
it
that's
back.
crazy. That's how games were though. It's like
Yeah.
you'd be lucky if you could beat the game.
Yes.
Right?
I'll give you one good example. I don't know if you guys played Ninja Gaiden.
Yes, of
Oh,
course. Old school
absolutely.
NES.
I love Ninja Gaiden to death. As a Ninja Gaiden like fanboy, and everything. When they did the remake of 2,
Yeah.
that came out recently,
Mhm.
I just laughed so hard at how many streamers were playing it, and they
They just gave up.
One exactly. You do not realize what it was like back then. The game,
Right.
of course, the game. Was
You make me feel so old when you're saying back then and it's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. I'm talking about Ninja Gaiden NES, bro. I'm talking about like that kind of stuff.
Another one though. As well.
Those were no. I mean, don't get me
Those were
wrong.
The most
Those-
unforgiving BS ever. The
Ninja
best.
Gaiden, the Ninja Gaiden series on the Xbox are tough as hell. That's too granted. But anyone who does decide to do a stream of Ninja Gaiden 1 and then come back to us and say, "Oh, it's an easy game," they're a full-grown liar.
That's a filthy
liar.
liar.
They're
That's why I
liars.
always thought it was funny when people would get like so upset when I would die in a game. I'm like, first off, I'm visually impaired. This is a team effort. So like, shush, quiet, chat. But also, I died so much as a child playing Lion King on Sega Genesis because I didn't grow up with the system. My parents were like lower middle
You were on the
class.
Game Boy, so you're more
I
little
got a
different.
Game Boy for the car rides because my mom was concerned because I was sleeping so much. Spoiler alert, I collect brain surgeries. Anywho, but yeah, I didn't have a system, so I had to watch my cousins play, and they would give me a turn, and then at 13, someone gave me a Sega Genesis, and that was the game that like sucked me in.
We got to move on. We got 20 more minutes. So anyone else has a hot take that they'd like to share? All right. What's
This is a
up?
quick one, but I think it's Hydro City and not Hydrocity.
I'm not really familiar. What's from Hydro City? What? Okay, this is an inside joke that I have no idea about.
So there's a stage in the old Sonic games, and it was called Hydro City, but there's a very slim space between the two words.
Like a hyphenated.
An argument between is it Hydro City or is it Hydrocity?
So people get that mixed up. You know what? Actually, is this Sonic 2? I'm assuming. Okay, if it's Sonic 2, I think I know what you're talking about, and you're right. I think it is definitely Hydro City. I'm Team Hydro City. I just assumed everyone thought it was Hydro City. Hydrocity? People really called it Hydrocity?
Well, him too.
Wow.
Okay, well, you
Really?
too, both of you.
Did you even know about that?
So-
I didn't know about
You know what I'm
that.
talking about? 'Cause it was like,
You want this one?
I remember
I've
the
got a
level,
small-
Yes.
but I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I did not even know that. You know what? I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but apparently, hey, you know what?
I've got
It is.
Each their own on that.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Did anyone else have a hot take?
I do.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a
Bree,
medium this time, and then
oh, you have another one.
medium in the
Did you have a hot take? Yeah, I thought you had your hand raised
I
before.
know, I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Nano.
Apologies.
We know we got you.
XL,
What you got?
XL, because I have two different reds.
And then these are both larger.
Yeah.
Personal attack?
I'll take this one.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Smitty's definitely going to be on this, so
I
that's
will
the case. What is this?
Technically, we kind of talked about this before, but like, I think it's impossible to have a successful gaming website in today's market.
Oh, so are you saying, is it like, the hot take is the fact of having a successful gaming market? So it's a hot take on me because of my website?
Is CFG Games trash?
Oh, that's
do
what
you
you're
do
saying.
anything? That's what I heard. That is what I heard.
Wow.
I didn't
That's hilarious.
No, what I'm saying is, if you want to start a gaming website in today's market, I feel like it's almost impossible to become big or be successful.
You know, and then in a way, it's actually kind of funny. So basically, what you're saying is your hot take is like it's virtually impossible to get a good gaming website nowadays
Kinda like-
than what it was.
Plus, I'm talking about like reviews and stuff.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
reviews and
So
stuff.
like that, there's a relationship with like IGN and GameSpot.
Right.
That wouldn't just go into your website.
Right.
That is true, and I mean it's definitely true nowadays because fact of the matter is, people don't like to read anymore. I mean, that's what it really is. Like, people don't like to go and check out blogs as it was like 10 or 15 years ago, which is fine, and stuff. But like, the way I would say, I mean, I'm not even going to say mine is successful enough either, because I'm like a baby compared to the big ones. Like, I mean, really the big one, it's now IGN. I mean, everyone else is pretty much shut down. So, like, I never really looked at it as making it a full-fledged career. I just like to do it because it was a good, hobby and a voice, especially a voice that's not bought. That's the way I look at it. So it's like, because there's not a lot of people that's out there that say, oh, this is my own personal take about this game, even though everyone you see, like when you see, and I'm not knocking any websites and stuff like that, any other websites of saying, oh, this game is a full-fledged 4.0 or a 9 out of 10 and stuff, when really this game is trash and garbage. I know, how many times do y'all usually see that,
all
you know?
Right. You know, it's
all the damn time.
IGN rated my finale as 3.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. It's weird.
If I see them walking,
you know what's funny? Like, yeah, what's funny is that one of my friends, or one of my reviewers on my website, like gave me, I noticed it because of her. She told me that all Sega games that are the most recent, their best all the Yakuza games, their most, the Yakuza games are rated on IGN at 7.0. Almost all of them, except the most recent one, the pirate one. Yeah, that one I think was the highest rated one of them all.
Really?
And I was like thinking, like, that's like 9 different Yakuza games that's consistently at a 7. And I was just like, how is that even possible?
Okay.
Right.
So I looked it up, and then sure enough, she was right. And I was like, holy crap. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I like to look at my website as like, you know, a place of like people that may not be as the mainstream and stuff like that. I just do it for fun. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And if it's rewarding for me to that level, then I think I'm doing something right, you know. And then I love the fact that, I mean, I get enough people to say, hey, there's people that do care about what I've said. I mean, and I've been doing it for 10 years now, just randomly, and then so a lot of people do want to hear what we say, and a lot of companies that do want to give us keys and stuff to review. So I wouldn't look at it, try not to look at it as I want to be IGN, because you can't. You're one person, and you just starts from somewhere, and then just worry about yourself at that point, you know.
Yeah.
And just build up, I guess.
Exactly.
Kind of build from there. Take it a day at a time, as opposed to trying to, like, obviously you have that end goal, or at least have that inspiration to be able to reach for something. But you know, it all takes steps, just like everything else. You gotta crawl before you walk, or you gotta something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's the saying.
Oh, were you just gonna say something? I'm sorry, Nana.
CFG Game Cast.
Yes. Thank you, Nano. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. We did not pay him to say that, by the way. So there you go. Yes. So I'm sorry. You have a question, or you have another hot take?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adding on to that, at least like hot take. I firmly believe this. Independent reviewers or smaller companies that do reviews, YouTubers, streamers, and independent reviewers are going to outclass professional review companies, I would say, in about 3 to 5 years. And I think those companies are going to do so poorly later on in that like half decade that they are going to start moving to streaming. They're going to try to make YouTube channels. They're going to try to do their own.
Oh, it's already happening.
Oh, it's already done. Yeah.
COVID.
Desperately because they want to catch up on the cloud. But the fact of the matter is that they don't understand the reason why people are choosing them now.
Right.
People are choosing independent review companies and smaller ones. People are choosing YouTubers and streamers. Why? Because they're not. I think the most important thing about it is they're not pompous about how they feel.
Authenticity.
Exactly. They embody a very authentic view of games as a whole, and they don't try to outstretch themselves to every genre.
Right.
It's a game they have no interest in. They will not choose to review.
You know what?
Why? Because I know I'm not.
That one's a street.
Yeah.
But if I'm like a fighting game lover, I'll review every fighting game.
Right.
I want. Just don't expect me to review the
Also, we have the glasses. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And I think it brings out each of people that want to listen rather than read articles. Because we used to have that. Like Informer. Hell, even things like Guinness World Records used to do stuff on games back then.
Right.
Reading books. But like you said, people don't read anymore. People don't have time for that. They love listening on podcasts, on streams.
Audiobooks, yeah.
Exactly, audiobooks. And they love seeing the person who's doing the review.
Right.
So I think it just as a whole in the next 5 years, I just think journalism is going to change to way more independent. and smaller company base than the big ones that we have right now. I think they're going to either die off or they're going to branch out and basically dissolve.
Yeah, like what Smitty was saying, though. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it's happening. I am in that industry. I worked for News and ABC affiliate for 12 years. Worked at the Las Vegas Review Journal. I had a podcast over there and did like commercial production. So I've been saying it for years, and that's why I started bouncing around a little bit, because they weren't trying to hear that stuff. They weren't trying to stream. They were stuck on the product that they were. I was like, look, man, this is where the eyeballs are. This is what people are doing. That's what actually, that also kind of propelled me into getting into streaming and learning it myself. Currently, I work at VSiN. It's a sports betting network. I'm getting them up and now live streaming on shows and stuff like that. So that literally is what I do for a job, is showing people, hey, here's the advantage of going or doing streams, the authenticity. Here's how you can set it up on a technical side. I can help you punch it, blah, blah, blah. That is a whole business in itself. But you are dead on. I've been saying it for years that they need to switch over, and they're going to be late, just like newspapers were late, just like TV stations were late. Yep. They are always late to the punch on what's actually happening and how people are consuming their content or their media. So you're right. They are scrambling now, hiring people like me to figure out how to stream.
They're just so
They don't, and they don't want to listen. They don't know. It's like, look, it can't just be, hey, let's put on the product that we're doing. Let's just hit the go live stream. It's like, look, you need to interact with your people. Yeah. You need to build a community. That's also a part of it. So they're at least broadcasting on like streaming sites now and stuff like that, but they're still not properly utilizing what the technology is and how you can reach out and directly interact with the consumers of your content. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That is the benefit of streaming.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you got over there?
Alright, so one of my biggest hot takes that I'm thinking of while we're talking, and it made me think of like Yakuza and other games, is I'm tired of video game connoisseurs and people who like blaming like the devs for a shitty game when it's the producer's fault.
Or marketing.
Looking at other places, like for example, Dragon Age is one of my favorite series. I don't blame BioWare. I mean, I kind of do now because of the layoffs. But like,
separate issue, same thing, yeah.
Like in the original, like Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect, all of those games, they're so phenomenal. But ever since EA took over for the selling, for the producing, don't blame BioWare, blame EA.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like so, basically.
Can I blame BioWare for Anthem?
Yeah.
Who do I get to blame for that?
This man.
Bro, I'm still salty. I bought so many copies.
We're going to back up on the fact that Smitty, when Anthem came out, Smitty didn't buy one, he didn't buy two, he didn't buy three. He bought that. He bought the EA copy, the EA Play thing, just so he could play early model. He bought the collector's edition and stuff like that. So yeah,
that was gonna be my game. That literally was a game that I went from playing console to playing keyboard and mouse. Cause I did a 24-hour stream. And I played it for 24 hours straight.
And that was it. He was like, yeah. So So that's probably his hot take about like it was the same thing about Anthem. It's like that's when he's gonna get off on that. But I will say, but back to your thing on it, I will say you're absolutely right about like people blaming the devs. But you know what it is? It's easy. You know, it's kind of weird is because people don't really normally think about that. That's the problem.
They also
I'm not
don't
giving
understand how things work either.
Exactly. Right. So they don't. It's not really a matter. It's not a matter of an
excuse.
excuse. I'm not excusing it because you're totally right. It's like it shouldn't be. People shouldn't go directly to the devs and say, "Why did you do this, and this, and why did you all decide on this?" Because and it totally makes me mad because you're right. Dragon Age was one of my favorites too.
Another one is Destiny with Bungie.
Oh God.
Oh, we're never leaving now.
But Destiny is kind of like a hot mess in itself, though. But like Bungie is. But yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, but like
I said Destiny, I said we're never leaving now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like EA or with like how EA treated Dragon Age was incredibly horrible, especially after they said it didn't hit their 3 million unit mark. I think it hit 1.5, and they were saying that it would have been better if they did microtransactions on it. Yeah. I was like, are you freaking crazy?
That's
are you
crazy.
on crack?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then
it's like Warner Brothers when Suicide Squad failed. And Hogwarts sold like almost nearly, what was it, like 100-something million copies?
Yeah, a ridiculous
We should
amount.
focus more on the live games.
Yes, exactly. It's like they're trying to push on the, they're trying to force them to try to justify pushing for live service games when they're not.
And
But
it's
like,
necessary in
and that's the problem. And it's like people are wanting to go, and then but then people are not seeing those small things, but because the natural gamer doesn't look at that stuff. We're nerds. We look at these kind of stuff and we're like, this is something obvious that it's not something that BioWare said, this is what we're going to do this way, and this is how it's going to happen. It's more like EA's decision making is what's making this game harder for it to sell. And yeah, it's a pain in the butt to go with it. We're kind of getting short on around time. We got 5 more minutes. So does anyone else have a hot take?
Yeah, I just want to say people complaining about Yusuke and the Assassin's Creed Shadow are so wrong.
Oh God.
For the longest time, it was so crazy that they're saying like they should never show Yusuke because they should focus on Japanese people. He was actually a real person. However, it's okay if we put Ezio with Leonardo da Vinci. Like, that stuff never happened. And I never complained about any of that other stuff, or him fighting the Pope and stuff.
Right.
And now we're complaining about, something that actually happened.
That is true.
A quick Google will do so much good for so many people. God damn it. Just before you open your mouth, as they said in the car, a lot of YT people open their mouth about things that they don't understand before they even know the knowledge of it.
But here's a weird thing. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, actually, I was going to say, that just was crazy, by the way, a whole year of that. But
Yeah.
It's still going, yeah.
With the Dragon Age 2, it's just, there are 2 issues that I find. I'm more of the middleman. One, I think the main complaint with Assassin's Creed for people who are logical is the fact that, one, we have a lot of historical characters in all of Assassin's Creed games. You could fight with George Washington, for God's sake.
Right, yeah.
That'd
They
be
are
fun.
side characters, and that's the benefit to it, is you like to see these characters as historical figures. When you play as them, it's like if you made George Washington an assassin. It's going to turn people off. It is.
Right.
Because people are going to be very, what's the word?
Biased.
No.
And racist.
Boom.
Right there.
That's what my hot take
And then
was.
going back to the Dragon Age one, it is a multitude. First off, it is never one singular person. It's
Right.
never one big group. It is a whole canvas that either ruins the entire painting or breaks it apart.
Right.
But, and this is an issue I find with everyone. This goes for YouTubers, this goes with developers, this goes for devs,
For
producers.
Davis.
PR.
Ow.
It doesn't matter on let's say, politics, it doesn't matter on social aspects, it doesn't matter on this or that. The moment you bring it in, you are asking to divide people. And I think if you're trying to sell a product, no matter if people want it, you shouldn't sell the idea.
Well, we're kind of getting short on time, but I will say this, I will put my 2 cents in on this as well. It's a fucking game. I mean, here's the problem. Here's my problem about with the Assassin's Creed nonsense is that no one said that this game is a true story. No one has said that this is what happened on the real events. We're playing Assassin's Creed 8 for crying out loud. We've seen all the crazy assassins through all different kinds of time histories of this deal and stuff. What's the only difference that this game is introducing and stuff? To say that this why is it a big? Me personally, then this is the hot take. Why is it a big deal for them saying, okay, we're going to make Yusuke a character, a black character in Japan, a samurai that destroys virtually everything, like it's a freaking wall, It's like, okay, it's a game. That's their vision of what they wanted this story to be about. And then it's not like you have to choose Yusuke either. It gave you the choice to choose either Yusuke or the ninja, and I have no idea what the name of the ninja was, but still, it's just for people to be as serious as they are about this, and then like you said, the year of anticipation and stuff was a nightmare because people were saying this, and this. It's whatever, man. I don't care. There's just a lot of haters when it comes into that. When it comes to that fact, first off, if Ubisoft said that this was a true story and stuff, then yeah, you can call bullshit on that, and you could be pissed off for it when there's other things to really be more pissed off about. But really, it's who cares at this point? But
my hot take
it's amazing.
is that gamers don't actually like games anymore. At least according to Twitter, because there is always something for people to complain about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
okay, we got
ahead.
one more. We gotta go after this one.
Go ahead, Warrior.
I got one more. Well, I have many, but this is the one I'm going to give you all.
Okay.
Just Emio, the Smiling Man, has a better, more tragic, more emotional story than The Last of Us.
Wait, what does?
I have not played that. Is that the Nintendo? Is that the one that was on Nintendo?
Yeah.
What did he say?
What's it called?
I'm so sorry.
Emio?
Emil.
Smiling Man.
The Smiling. I remember seeing a trailer for that. I never played it.
Never played it, so unfortunately
What are
I
you
have to
trying
put a
to
pin on
say
that.
right
I'm looking at a resident horror game player down there.
I haven't played it.
No?
No.
Oh yes.
I've heard of it.
Now you know.
I want to play it now.
You may not think of it as you're playing it.
Okay.
but
It's one of those that hits you later.
Epilogue, it just, holy shit.
Over The Last of Us. That is a tall order.
I was like, that
Is it
definitely
really that
intrigued
good?
me.
I still think about that ending.
Really?
Okay, I might have to take a look at it.
Hey, you know what? I feel like in a world where we all have different flavors, right? Like I was joking with someone the other day, like I have a friend that I'm only friends with him on Steam still because when he leaves reviews that say this game is woke, I played 10 hours and it's in the genre that I want. If I'm 10 out of 10, I'm probably gonna play it.
So you're fading them.
Sounds like it.
Just don't tell Sophie. Anyway, no. Here's the thing. We all have different flavors. I'm so glad you found a game that at the end of the day, you still think about, right? Because it's like those little glimpses of memories. I collect brain surgeries, and I'm not joking about that. There are things that I can't remember that I wish I could remember, right? And so I find things like moments like that precious. I loved Last of Us. I still think about it a lot, right? But I'm just, in general, like I don't think we have to compete. Well, this one's better than that. And I would love to play that one. And I'm sure if you say it gave you goosebumps and you think about it,
It's about
hell
stories, yeah.
That's
If the story of the quality of it, then I may have to check it out.
Last of Us, I felt like I was represented.
But I don't take it.
finally.
I don't take that as a competition. I
Right.
take it as a for somebody to say a statement like that, a game resonated enough for you to say something like that. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Regardless,
You know
I
what it
got
is?
to check that
You know what
out.
it is? It's the fact that Wario basically introduced us to something that we have never tried, and he's saying that it's just like
Yeah.
the story and the stuff, and that
It just
it's
is powerful.
intriguing enough to be like introducing new people to it.
I'm
So
not
that's
saying
another
The
thing.
Last of Us is trash or
No, you're not.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
It's
that.
a high standard, so I'm saying it's even better.
It's
Right,
yeah. To say
yeah.
it's a high, yeah. Now I want
And
to
it's
check
like
it
now
out.
I need to check it out because to make that
Maybe
kind of
I make
statement
Dust play it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's
I
not
could
a
make
bad
Dust
idea.
play it on the
Exactly.
big screen.
Yeah,
Guys,
that's good stuff.
thank you so much for interacting.
You
It's
guys are
freaking
amazing.
awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank
checking
you.
out. Love the
Good for you
conversation.
guys.
But
And if I missed you, come
But
up
once
and
again,
here.
guys, thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. But if you did miss, well, you can't even say that right
You
now.
guys
But
did
if you
miss
did
us.
miss, if anyone missed out on this episode on YouTube and on our any of our podcast services, that's perfectly all right. We do release it on our podcast services, so all podcast services eventually, probably until I get back, so it's not going to be on Monday. But still, so there's absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices. Guys, also be sure to go check out our website, conferencegeeks.com, if you want to see some awesome, cool stuff, and like us and follow us on our YouTube page, the CFG, or on YouTube, or on our Twitch page, the CFG Game. So this is Lex, Davis, and Smitty signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Okay, later, bye.
Guys, thank you so much.
Yay,
It was really
thank you
great. Thank you
guys.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes, it was so good.